YouTubers, shooters, reloaders, Flyer 556 coming to you once again. Still at the compound here. Figured I'd do a video on revolver cleaning. Means we got to clean this gun now that we just shot it again. And show you the basic steps of how I do it. May not be right, wrong, or indifferent, but this is what I do. And it works for me, and it's worked for many years. So here we go. Step one, make sure the gun is clear and unload it, as we've already done here, and you can see nothing in the gun, empty. Now, as you can see, the front of the cylinder is filthy, black, dirty. We're going to be looking to clean that out. The forcing cone, which is this area right here, okay, filthy black. It's not easy to get out of there, but I'm going to show you some tips and tricks that I use to get that thing like brand new once again. And of course, the bore needs to be cleaned. We're going to clean that out, and we're going to clean the entire gun completely. A basic complete clean, what I generally do every time I do this. So here we go. First, make sure it's unloaded, as I said already. Get out whatever you think you're going to need. Pretty much I know what I'm going to need to do this, because I've already done it a few times since I've been here, so I already have out what I need. And that's it. Here we go. So the first step on a revolver would be to take the grip off. You do that by removing this screw. Flip the gun over, give it a little nudge with a punch, pull the screw out, and you got to remove these wood inserts here on the Ruger grip. There's a reason for this. Pull that insert out, and then when you pull this insert out, there's a pin right here. This pin is a tool to take that pin out. So you take your screwdriver, remove your pin, and then you take this little pin and you push this big pin out. That's what holds the grip on. Once you get the big pin out, you can slide the grip right off the back of the gun. Okay? Now, once you get to that point, take all these parts and put them off to the side. You're really not going to have to do much with them. They're just going to be in the way. So put them off to the side. I like to put them on a rag so there's no way they can get lost. And now the next step would be to soak the gun down with hoppies. There's three basic things I use for the cleaning process. I use this, which is hoppies number 9 in this bottle. I use Balstol. This is my final application, and in the middle, after the hoppies, I put the WD, and then I go to the Balstol. It's a 3-step process what I do. So right now, the next step, now that you got the grip off and you're down to nothing but steel in the gun, close it up, cock the hammer. Make sure you get the hoppies down inside the action. Got to turn it on here. Okay, get it down in there. Cover everything with it. Up in the trigger mechanism. Okay. Drop the hammer. Open the cylinder. Continue spraying. Soak the whole cylinder completely with the stuff. Soak the front of the cylinder, as we discussed. It's completely black and filthy dirty. Soak the complete exterior of the gun. All up in the mechanisms in the handle, the grip, the hammer. Definitely soak up the forcing cone. Spray a generous amount down the bore till it flows out the other end. Basically lay it down and just let it soak for a minute or two. Let it work itself in. Roll it around a couple times so it coats the entire inside of the bore and gets all around inside the chambers in the cylinder. Get yourself out a clean rag, wipe your hands off, because it's not the best thing for your hands. A lot of times I wear rubber gloves, but for this I'm just going to wing it, because I know exactly what I'm up against, and it's not going to take me very long to do. Okay, so normally I would let this soak about 10 minutes, but I don't want to make the video 2 hours long, so we're just going to move along with it. It's not that dirty. Next, you're going to take your brass brush, copper brush, whichever one you have, soak it with some hoppies. Okay? Then I take this and I work it in and out of each cylinder throat in the cylinder. Each one of them, about 4 or 5 times. Okay? Just work it in and out like that. 1. Now this is an 8-shot revolver, so you got to do this 8 times. 2. 3. This would be number 4. This would be number 5. This would be number 6. 7. 8. One more just to make sure we didn't miss any. Now I put a little bit more and just do one more quickie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One extra to make sure we didn't miss any. Okay, flip the gun around. Now we're going to go into bore with this. Soak it down one more time. Make sure we got a generous amount of hoppies on there. And we're going to run this in and out of the bore. We got to be careful not to let it slam into the back of the frame here. So as you go in, get a feel for where it comes out the other end. And just go in and out, until you feel it get really nice and smooth. Clean out that bore real nice. This will get out any lead. We were shooting lead. Haven't really had any problem with leading, but never hurts to be on the safe side and make sure you get it out if it is in there. Okay, that feels really nice and smooth right there. So we'll continue a few more in and outs, make sure we got it clean. Okay. Now, the last thing I use is compressed air. This is a pretty important step. It definitely helps blow out our brush because we're done with that now. We could take the brush off, put that to the side. We're not going to need that anymore. Wipe our cleaning rod off a little bit. Now, we're going to take a regular toothbrush like this here. Spray it up with some hoppies. Generous amount as always. And what we're going to do now is we're going to clean the back side of the cylinder, the part that I was showing you that's recessed. Scrub this out. This doesn't get really dirty, so I just use a toothbrush on this. Okay, spend a minute or so on that. Open up your ejector. Make sure you get your ejector open and scrub underneath your injector. This is one thing that will lock up a revolver. If you get a piece of dirt under here and the cylinder can't rotate, it will lock up. I've heard people say many times, oh, you never got to worry about a revolver jamming. That's not true. It can jam up. You get a slightest piece of dirt under this where this doesn't seat properly, and it will lock it right up. So clean the back side of the ejector, underneath the ejector. Clean the face of the cylinder here. Clean that out. Nice. Okay, that looks good. Then just go around inside the frame here. Scrub the back strap. Scrub the back of the frame where the firing pin is. All those parts don't get really dirty. They're not that hard to clean, so toothbrush will take care of that. And you don't have to worry about scratching anything with the toothbrush either, especially with stainless. It's a very durable finish. You don't have to worry too much about it. Scrub the exterior of the gun basically all over. Get any powder residue off the exterior completely. Okay, front of the muzzle. Scrub that a little bit. The barrel. Now, this is the part people have trouble with. The front of the cylinder and the forcing comb. These are the two hardest parts to clean on a revolver. Doesn't have to be that way. It can be really pretty simple. Wipe my hands off. Then I switch over to this brass brush here. This is a brass brush. You got to be careful using this, that you only hit the areas that you want to hit, because on a stainless gun it won't put scratches, but on a blued gun you do got to be extremely careful using this. But anyhow, all this black is not easy to get off the face of the cylinder. But with this brass brush, it comes right off more or less. You just got to be careful that you stay on the face. Scrub, 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 rotating it slowly, and making sure that you stay only on the face of the cylinder. Okay? You can see it's starting to come clean already. By the second time I go around with it, it'll be just about perfect. The third time, it'll be like brand new. So you just keep scrubbing gently. Don't have to push real hard. Most important thing is make sure you stay flush, flat on the face of the cylinder. Don't let the brush come around the sides, because you don't want to put scratches in the sides of the cylinder. You won't notice it on the face. You won't get any noticeable scratches on the face. And just keep slowly rotating and gently scrubbing, and before you know it, the front of that cylinder will be like brand new. Okay, I've been doing this about a minute now, and it's just about brand new. I'm going to do one more rotation, and pretty much we could call it good as new. Okay, so there's your cylinder in just over a minute, like brand new. That gives a lot of people a lot of trouble. A little bit of wood here scraped off the handle of the brush. That's okay. We'll blow that off later. Now, the other part that gives people a lot of trouble is right here, the forcing comb. This isn't easy to clean either without the right tool, but with the right tool, it's very simple. Once again, make sure you stay flush, flat on the forcing comb, because you don't want the brush to come around the sides and scrape the barrel or the frame of the gun. You only want to be scrubbing on the forcing comb and around the forcing comb, the barrel and the face of the forcing comb. Okay? So going in from this side, the forcing comb's already clean, and this side of the barrel of the forcing cone is already clean. Now to get the other side of the forcing cone where the barrel comes through the frame, just simply rotate the gun around 180 and do the same thing on this side. Lightly scrub. Make sure you only stay on the face of the forcing cone. Don't let the brush come around the sides of the frame of the gun, because you don't want to put any scratches on the frame. And just gently scrub around that forcing comb, and just like the face of the cylinder, in a minute and a half or so, it'll be as clean as brand new. Okay? Now give it a light spray of hoppies, blow it off, inspect it. Looks pretty good to me. Okay, that covers that. Now the next step, I take my compressed air. You don't need a lot of this. I got a small compressor with a small tank, and we're going to do this whole cleanup with one tank. Blow out the majority of the hoppies. Okay. I usually take a plain old shop rag to wipe off the excess on the frame, the cylinder. Get whatever you can off. Okay. Now, the next step, I take my trusty WD-40, and I use this stuff generally. I use this stuff heavily. I completely soak the entire gun with this stuff. In the cylinder, in the bore, up in the trigger mechanism, the hammer mechanism, the handle, the grip, the trigger, everything, the firing pin. Soak the gun inside, outside, completely with this stuff. There's a reason for this. Cylinder, bore, complete exterior, any moving parts, the forcing cone, the sights, everything. Cover everything. Okay? Completely soak everything with WD. I let that soak in for a minute or so. Wipe my hands off. That gun is entirely soaked inside and out with WD-40 now. Now, I take my clean. This is my final rag. You always want a final rag. Now the gun basically is clean, and I'm going to blow any excess oil off, so I kind of want that to go on this rag, because this is a rag that I keep in the cabinet just for wiping guns down. Gently blow off any excess of WD. Out of the gun and out of any mechanisms that you got it in. The rag will catch most of it. Okay. Like I said, you don't have to go insane with the air. A little bit goes a long way. Take a minute or so, wipe down the exterior of any excess WD. Okay. Now, as you can see, that forcing comb is like brand new. The inside of the back of that cylinder, beautiful, spotless, clean. Under the ejector, nice and clean. The face of the cylinder, nice and clean. No black circles around that, spotless, like brand new. Okay. The face of the barrel, clean. I doubt you could see inside the barrel. I'll put it here just in case you happen to catch a glimpse of it. Actually, I got my flashlight. I don't know if you could see in the bore or not, but I figured I'd give it a shot. Okay. So that's that. Basically, you're almost done now. My final thing that I do, I take this is a jag. Okay. Take my cleaning rod and my jag. I take a dry patch now. Run it in the bore to get any WD that's in the bore out of the bore. Okay. There's a reason for this. Then I run it through each cylinder to clean those out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, as you can see, barely any dirt whatsoever, so we're good there. Now we're still not done. That cylinder is beautiful inside. I don't know if you could see in there. That is spotless. Now, one more step. What I like to do at the end, you could do this a couple different ways. This is a bore snake. Hoppies makes them. What you do, you drop this in the barrel. This way you can clean from the breech end to the muzzle, which is the proper way to do it. It's got brass brushes, and then this is equivalent to 180 patches, they say, by running it through one time. So I'll do it just to show you how it works, but I don't always do that. But I'll do it just to show you, and then I'll do what I normally do. You take this, you stretch it all out. What I do, like I said, this is what I do, works for me. Put a little bit of Ballistol. These are brass brushes on this area right here and right here. I put a little Ballistol on them, and I put a little bit on the end of the bore snake. This way, as it passes through the bore, it leaves a nice coating of this in the bore. Okay? This is a weight. It's a brass weight on the end. What you do is you take this brass weight and you drop it in the barrel from the breech side, because that's the proper way to clean a gun, from the breech end, not the muzzle end. Okay? The weight will pull itself through the barrel. As soon as it pops through the other side, you simply grab it, pull it, and then what's going to happen is you're going to pull the snake up into the bore, and you're going to drag those brass brushes through the bore, and then you're going to drag the rest of the snake through the bore, and it's going to leave a nice coating of Ballistol and do a final cleanup. A nice thorough cleanup on the bore. Okay? So that's that. This way you're absolutely certain the bore is clean. I keep these in these nice little plastic containers that I made for each caliber that I have. take your final rag, wipe off any excess ballstall, because I had a lot on there and it leaked out all over the gun. Nothing wrong with that. It's a good protectant. Okay, now what I do is the final step is take one more patch, take some ballstall, soak the patch generously with the ballstall, take the soaked patch and run it through each chamber in the cylinder, all 8 of them, to leave a nice coating of this stuff on each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I take the same patch that's soaked with the ballstall and I coat the face of the cylinder. I leave this coated, because like I said before, the ballstall constantly cleans. As long as it's on there, it's breaking down anything that could possibly be left behind. So like if you were going to store this gun for a long time and that's on there, it'll continue to break down anything that you missed, that you didn't see. It'll keep working while the gun's in storage. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, now you got your cylinder coated inside. Now the final step now, could even use the same patch. Soak it down again with ballstall and pass it through the bore one time to leave a nice thorough coating of ballstall inside the bore, because once again it'll continue cleaning the whole time that it's in there. And then I like to wipe the face of the forcing comb with a nice coating of ballstall. Okay, and once again, take your final rag, your clean rag, just wipe off any excess on the exterior of the gun that you see. Okay, now you don't have to go through this every time. I do, but it's really not necessary. But like I said, I'm making this video to show you what works for me, how I do it. And this is what I do every time I clean my gun. Every single time. Okay, now we're going to reinstall the grip. It's very simple. Slide it on. The big pin goes in the big hole. That's what holds the grip on. Simply put it in. Make sure the rubber's around it on both sides nice. Take the little pin, put it back in the grip for future use. Take your 1 walnut wood panel, pop it back in the grip. Take your other walnut wood panel, pop it back in the grip. Okay. Take your screw that you put off to the side before, reinstall it. Screw him back in with the screwdriver. Just snug, don't have to go overboard with it. Snug him up nice. One more final wipe down on the exterior of the gun. That is looking just beautiful. Okay, so there's no excuse for those black rings on them cylinder faces, because I'm out here in the middle of nowhere in the woods and I just did a thorough cleanup on my gun. So if I can do it out here, anybody can do it, especially in the comfort of their own home. Wiping down any excess. Pretty much that's it. Okay, so brief breakdown on what I do. I soak it down with the hoppies first. Okay. Let that cut the grease and the dirt, the powder residue and the lead and everything. Blow all that out. Then I soak it down with the WD. I blow all that out. What that does is it cleans out anything I didn't get with the hoppies, and it leaves a nice coating inside the gun with WD. Wipe off anything you don't get off the outside. Then I run patches through the cylinder and the bore to remove any WD that's in there. Just leave it on the internal mechanisms. Then I take the ballstall, I put it on a patch, I coat all the cylinder throats and the bore, the face of the cylinder and the face of the forcing comb. Wipe down any excess on the outside of the gun. Look at the gun, the overall gun on the outside. far as I'm concerned, this thing is absolutely spotless inside and out. As you can see, the forcing comb, like brand new. The face of that cylinder is like brand new. I'm going to try and give you a shot of the inside of the bore one more time. I'll give it a shot. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll try. See if you could see that. Don't know. I got the light in there. If you can see it, you should see the lands and grooves are absolutely spotless, coated with Balstol, but if not, take my word for it, they are. Inside the cylinder, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but I figured I'd give it a shot. And that's the rundown on how I clean a revolver, okay? As far as I'm concerned, this gun can be reloaded now, which is what we're going to do right now. Load them back up. Seven shots out of 8. We're going to put the empty cylinder under the hammer. Once again, wipe off any excess oil, Balstol, that might be left that we didn't blow out. Take this guy, stick him back in our trusty holster for the SP101, and that's it. He's ready to go. Pretty much that's how I do it, guys. Revolver cleaning. Please remember, like, subscribe, share. That's it for this one, guys. Flyer 556, I'm out.